In the year 1837, the merchant vessel Albatross set sail from New Orleans, bound for the distant shores of London. The Albatross was a sturdy ship, built to withstand the harshest conditions the open sea could muster. At the helm, Captain Nathaniel Hawke, a seasoned seafarer, commanded a crew of rugged sailors and a collection of determined passengers. All aboard were eager, their hearts filled with the promise of prosperity that a successful transatlantic trade would bring. The city of New Orleans, with its bustling port, waved a colorful farewell as the Albatross embarked on its voyage, leaving behind the comfort of familiar shores. The initial weeks of the journey were uneventful, the sea a vast canvas of blue stretching into the horizon. Favorable winds filled the sails, propelling the ship further into the Atlantic's vast expanse. But as the Albatross ventured farther from the safety of the coastline, a series of misfortunes began to plague the vessel. Little did they know, their hopeful journey was about to take a perilous turn. Unrelenting storms battered the ship, shredding its sails and leaving the crew at the mercy of the tempestuous sea. This was a battle unlike any the crew of the Albatross had faced before. The once favorable winds had turned into a violent tempest, each gust a testament to the unforgiving nature of the open sea. The sails, once a symbol of hope and progress, lay in tatters, a grim testament to the wrath of the storm. The Albatross, once a vessel of trade and promise, now seemed more like a helpless plaything in the hands of a petulant child. Each wave that crashed against its hull was a chilling reminder of their precarious situation. The crew, once filled with the optimism of a successful voyage, were now locked in a struggle for survival. Tensions flared as supplies dwindled, the once cohesive crew fracturing under the strain of their dire circumstances. Captain Hawke, struggling to maintain order, made a fateful decision to alter their course in search of salvation. Days turned into weeks and the crew's situation grew increasingly dire. The Albatross, once a beacon of hope and prosperity, became an echoing chamber of despair. As the food stores dwindled to mere scraps, the men aboard began to feel the gnawing pangs of hunger, their strength sapping with each passing day. The ship, once filled with the jovial sounds of sailors at work, fell silent, the only sounds being the creaking of the ship and the relentless ocean waves. Whispers of mutiny started to circulate, but such thoughts were quickly overshadowed by a more terrifying prospect. The unthinkable, the unimaginable, began to creep into their consciousness. The taboo that should never be spoken of was now being considered as a desperate means of survival. The situation was dire. Starvation was around the corner. The crew, once united in their mission, were now divided by fear and desperation. Captain Hawke tried to maintain order, but his authority was waning. The veneer of civilization was peeling away, revealing the primal instincts hidden beneath. In the darkest corners of the ship, away from the prying eyes of their fellow crewmen, a pact was formed. A pact so gruesome, so shocking, it was an affront to nature itself. Cannibalism, the ultimate taboo, became their grim solution. The decision, once made, couldn't be undone. The line of humanity was crossed, and there was no turning back. The first act was hesitant, repugnant. Each man wrestled with his conscience, but the gnawing hunger won. The first bite, filled with guilt and revulsion, marked their descent into a darkness from which there was no return. The consuming hunger pushed them deeper into the abyss of depravity. The Albatross, once a symbol of opportunity and adventure, was now a floating charnel house. The sea, once their ally, now seemed a cruel and indifferent observer, silently witnessing the horrifying spectacle unfolding on its surface. The men aboard, once proud sailors, were now reduced to mere shadows of their former selves, their humanity lost in the desperate struggle for survival. As the days passed, the crew's humanity eroded further. Once vibrant souls, brimming with dreams and ambitions, were now hollow shells, their hopes replaced by a gnawing hunger that grew more insatiable with each passing hour. Their ship, the Albatross, once a proud symbol of maritime trade, had become a floating tomb. The once bustling decks now echoed with a chilling silence, broken only by the occasional whimper of a hardened sailor succumbing to his hunger. The air was thick, not just with the stench of desperation, but also with the fear that gripped each man as they looked into the eyes of their comrades, seeing not a fellow sailor, but a potential meal. And so it was that the unthinkable became the unmentionable. In the shadowy depths of the ship's hold, a pact was formed amongst the most desperate souls. Cannibalism, a taboo so abhorrent that it was spoken of only in hushed whispers, became their grim solution. The first act was committed with a sense of repulsion, a violation of the sacred bond of humanity. But the relentless hunger, like a ferocious beast, pushed them deeper into the abyss of depravity. Every bite was a macabre reminder of their descent into madness, each swallow a testament to the lengths they were willing to go to survive. The ship's corridors, once filled with laughter and camaraderie, now echoed with the sounds of anguished cries and the sickening crunch of bone. Amid this horror, there was one who remained untouched by the grisly feast. A young cabin boy named Elias, barely out of his teens, had managed to escape the clutches of the cannibalistic crew. He hid in the darkest corners of the ship, away from the prying eyes of the desperate men. He bore witness to the unspeakable acts committed in the name of survival, his eyes wide with terror and his heart heavy with sorrow. He hid in the shadows, a silent observer to the ship's descent into madness. Weeks later, a passing merchant vessel spotted the Albatross adrift and sent a boarding party to investigate. The sight that greeted them was beyond comprehension. The once bustling ship was now a silent graveyard, the decks stained with the evidence of a grim survivalism. Amid this macabre tableau, a lone figure emerged from the shadows, a young cabin boy named Elias, the only soul untouched by the horrors that had unfolded. His haunted eyes told a tale of desperation and descent into madness, a chilling testament to the lengths humans can go when pushed to the edge. The survivors, forever scarred by their ordeal, were taken into custody, their unspeakable acts unveiled to the world. The ill-fated voyage of the Albatross became a dark beacon in maritime history, a stark reminder that the sea's allure can veil a harsh reality. The sea, once a symbol of boundless possibility, now held a darker truth, a reminder that the ocean's depths can reveal the worst of humanity's impulses when pushed to the brink of desperation.